Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt where you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight and reveal the book's up office. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that intro! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. This month is PCOS Awareness Month. Now, I'll touch base on that a little later on, but for right now, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, on last week's episode, I asked which member of the X-Men can use natural charisma to give off a hypnotic force to influence people similar to a Jedi mind trick. Well, the correct answer is Gambit. Now, some of y'all said Remy LeBeau, which is his real name, and one person even quoted a line that he had in the Deadpool Wolverine movie. But if y'all did that, I accepted your answers also. But 9 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, your name's been entered in a drawing for a free tee, and that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Seth Green from Homer, Louisiana. So congratulations, Seth. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a Comics Code Authority question. Never asked one of those on here, but here goes. Until the 1970s, which comic book publication did the Comics Code Authority ban from using werewolves and vampires? Alright, here are the hints. The first hint is that this company was founded in 1939 by Martin Goodman. The second hint, even though the company was founded in 1939, this publication's universe didn't get started until 1961. The second hint, noted comic book creators like Joe Simon, Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, John Romita Sr., John Romita Jr., and Archie Goodwin have all worked here. And not only that, John Romita Sr. was also the art director for this company, and was for a very long time, and set the tone for the way comics were drawn in this publication. Oh, and then the final hint. This publication also has their own film studio that's been up for 15 years and is owned by Disney. You should know it by now. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Now, the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown segment is usually reserved for fans to make requests, but every once in a while, I like to come up with my own my own fights, and this one will leave you blinded by the light. Representing DC, we have Dr. Light. And representing Marvel, we have Dazzler. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Dr. Light versus Dazzler. To make this fair and moral, let's go with the Kamiyo Hoshi Dr. Light. Dr. Light possesses light transformation, flight, photokinesis, heart-like constructs, and force field generation. Dazzler is a trained singer, actress, dancer, accomplished roller skater, and highly skilled athlete and hand-to-hand fighter who possesses the ability to convert sound into light of various forms and intensity. With that intensity comes light energy granting her flight, invisibility, and hologram generation. She also possesses light generation, ultraviolet light, sound release, echolocation, light shield and light beam manipulation, and polarizing eyes preventing blindness and dazzlement from light. Who will win? I'd say there's going to be a lot of light in this fight, but that would be astute. This is also a game of brains versus talent/brawn. Dr. Light would transform into pure light and teleport behind Dazzler to ambush her, but the latter delivers an elbow to the former's face. Dr. Light would immediately get up to a vertical base. Dazzler then toys with Dr. Light by creating a disco ball, holograms of people, and touch-sensitive floor tiles that light up. She then begins singing one of her #1 hits and the light show begins. Annoyed, Dr. Light uses her photokinesis to disrupt everything. She even creates a brilliant flash of light in order to blind Dazzler. Of course, this has no effect on the latter. She pretends to be blinded in an effort to lure Dr. Light. Dr. Light attempts to deliver the final blow to Dazzler, but Dazzler backhands her and ends the fight by delivering a vicious beatdown on her. Dazzler wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed that fight. I'll have another one for episode 496, aka the 11th anniversary episode. If you want to make a request, you can go ahead and do so, but remember, I have rules. The first rule, there has to be at least one comic book or manga character involved. The second rule, that comic book or manga character can go up against another comic book or manga character, a video game character, or a series-minded cartoon character like Optimus Prime, Voltron, Lion-O, the Galaxy Rangers, anyone like that. And then my third rule, make sure your fight makes sense. It wouldn't really make a lot of sense for Aunt May to go up against, I don't know, Giganta. Just saying. Alright, let's get to the comics I bought this week. Comic books I bought this week. Alright, here we go. First up is Absolute Power Super Sun. The Avengers number 18. Batman Superman World's Finest number 31. Catwoman number 68. Dazzler number 1. Deadpool number 6. The Incredible Hulk number 17. Spider-Boy Annual 2024. Superman number 18. Ultimate X-Men number 7. Wonder Woman number 13. X Factor number 2. And finally, X-Men number 4. All right, that's 13, which brings the total number of comics that I've bought since December of 1997 to 13,129. All right, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. And here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. Until the 1970s, which comic book publication did the Comics Code Authority ban from using werewolves and vampires? Now, here are the hints again. The first hint is that this company was founded in 1939 by Martin Goodman. The second hint, even though this publication was founded in 1939, it wouldn't be until 1961 when this publication's universe would take flight. The third hint, comic book creators like Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, Joe Simon, Jack Kirby, and John Romita Sr. all worked at this publication. In fact, John Romita Sr. served as the art director for this publication and set the standard for how comic books are drawn. And then the fourth and final hint, this publication has had a film studio that's been running for over 15 years that is owned by Disney. In fact, this entire publication as a whole, this whole company is owned by Disney. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Seth Green from Homer, Louisiana, who won a free tee on this episode. Now, this month is Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome Awareness Month. Now, Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome, or PCOS, is a hormonal disorder in which a woman ends up with enlarged ovaries with small cysts on the outer edges. The cause of polycystic ovarian syndrome isn't well understood, but it may involve a combination of genetic and environmental factors. Symptoms include menstrual irregularity, excess hair growth, acne, and obesity. Now, complications of PCOS can include infertility, gestational diabetes or pregnancy-induced high blood pressure, miscarriage or premature birth, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, which is a severe liver inflammation caused by fat accumulation in the liver. Metabolic syndrome, which is a cluster of conditions including high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and abnormal cholesterol or triglyceride levels that significantly increase a woman's risk of cardiovascular disease. And then the next is type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, sleep apnea, depression, anxiety, and eating disorders, abnormal uterine bleeding, cancer of the uterine lining, which is also known as endometrial cancer. And here in America, there are over 200,000 cases of PCOS per year, which makes it very common. And I may be a guy, but I can only imagine what women with PCOS go through on a daily basis. If you're watching this and you happen to have PCOS, and I know, whether I know you or not, I love y'all. And this episode is for y'all. Alright, this is a PCOS Awareness Comic Hero tee. If you would like one, you can find them on IamTheComicHero.com/shop for $17, and I will donate half of each purchase to the Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome Association. Alright, here's the road ahead for the show. On next week's episode, I'm raising awareness of blood cancer. On episode 496, it's the 11th anniversary episode. I'm going to wear a t-shirt in observance, and as I've done in years past, I'm going to give away 5 of these shirts. All you have to do on any form of social media, go on that form of social media and you can either like, love, or leave a positive comment. Or if you can go on YouTube, I'll put a video up and you can leave a comment on there. Everyone who does these things will be entered in a drawing at the end of the 11th anniversary episode. And again, I'm drawing 5 names. Then on episode 497, I'm raising awareness of breast cancer. This has been an annual thing that I've been doing on the show since the beginning, and I'm going to keep doing it. Then on episode 498, I'm raising awareness against domestic violence. And I'm going to keep saying this until the day of. But meet me at the first annual Louisiana Delta Comic Con, which is on November 2nd on the main campus of Louisiana Delta Community College in Monroe, Louisiana. It's on 7500 Millhaven Lane. It's right down the road from Pecan Mall. Y'all don't want to miss it. My friends Shane Dyson and John Stout will be guest panelists along with me. And then members of the Monroe Moccasins hockey team will be there as guests as well. And there's going to be some other great vendors. So all I have to say is, like Loretta Lynn used to say, y'all come. And I just want to go ahead and say this, but I really love doing this show. And I really love, sharing my love of comics and of life with y'all. And this has been kind of on my heart, but we need to start loving more and hating none at all. Dr. Martin Luther King said it best. This is my favorite quote by him. He said, "I choose love because hate is too heavy a burden to bear." And that is so true, folks. It's a very heavy burden. And it doesn't look good on anyone. So, in a world of hate, choose love. Alright, if you're watching this on the East Texas Comic Con Fans Facebook page, welcome. And as soon as you're done, hit subscribe. If you're watching this on the Comic Book Lovers Facebook page, welcome. As soon as you're done, go on YouTube and hit subscribe. If you're watching this directly from YouTube, welcome. And as soon as you're done, hit subscribe. Alright, I'm Victor Nolly on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 495. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero!